Hello everyone and welcome back to the Brightworks, and what today I've got for you is a very interesting match. As I reveal the name here, you'll see exactly why on the right hand side of your screen. Today we've got a 18 versus 18, I do believe. We've got a ridiculous match that was held on Christmas Day. A lot of these lobbies were customized to allow as many players as they wanted in order to play in these games, and it resulted in some funky matches. So today, spawning on the southern side of professional commentator, forgot the name, Tundra Continents version 2.3.1. we have Hell's Hound, going to be representing the blue team here on the northern front of the southern side, if that makes any sense. Going to be contesting this little island mass over here. Usually you have to worry about transports or doing some sort of shenanigans to get your commanders over here quickly. On this match, however, because of the fact that there's so many commanders, I think people are just going to be, moving their commanders forward and not so much worrying about trying to get anybody over there. Plenty of manpower to spare all over the place. Now, representing the red team on the southern side of the northern side, boy, we're getting real adjective today. It's going to be Amir. Amir representing the red team here. Already a couple of title generators and some metal extractors down in the water. Going to be stepping up onto land already here, going for another metal extractor into a bot lab. Should be good stuff, trying to contest the land over here. There's obviously two different land bridges here that are interesting to connect, and then there's also the middle map here. Now, holding onto these land pieces is usually the determinant for who manages to win or lose the game. Oftentimes, once you lose one of these pieces, it means that you are prone to run by, or float by rather, by a whole bunch of hovercraft. There we go. Building the lab up on land and then moving the commander forward. Probably a pretty good idea here. Going to mean that production can start just a little bit sooner than those commanders can actually get out onto the field. Not going to be bad whatsoever. Celine with a righteous purpose here. Going to be tasked with keeping the center of the map safe here. We definitely need to see just a massive concave of torpedo launchers firing into this little choke point here. So this is one of the complaints I have about this map. Maybe not a complaint per se, but just a bit of a fallacy about this map is the fact that the middle of the map is actually not worth fighting over at all. There's no metal to be had in the middle of the map. It'd be great if there was a 10 metal extractor right here. That would be really... it would inspire more conflict, I believe, whereas on this map, really what you want to do is make a massive concave of static defense along this area over here, because there's no point in your enemy pushing through this choke point if you can just barrage them with firepower down into the choke point. Now, if you can get out as well and build a choke point, or build a force on the outside like this, then you have enough angular momentum, right? You have enough surface area, that's the word I'm looking for, in order to push out and continue your advancements. But as far as this map is concerned, this is a little too far forward for the static defense for my liking. VTL crew? Maybe it's vertical takeoff and landing crew? That could be it. Our lavender player. Pushing it over here on the western side of the land bridge over here. We do have autopilot transferring a commander over there. That's more like what we usually see. There's usually also an eco player back here. I wonder if Gold Leader are sort of dark blue, almost a navy blue kind of a blue, going for a little bit of an eco thing. We do have Legion enabled, so we also have those Legion units out and available. So Legion doesn't quite have their own boats yet, but they do definitely have their own planes now. They also have their own land units as well, so expect to see maybe some interesting planes being used, or at the very least, maybe just a little bit of aggression if one of these commanders gets out on the land here. Nice little aggression with these gunboats, blasting apart some of the tidal generators here for Celine. The static defenses did go down. Those goons did manage to shut all those torpedo launchers down. It's the danger of the torpedo launcher. It's extremely effective against boats, but it's completely ineffective against ships. Hovercraft, rather. Sorry. Getting all twisted up here. Hell's Hound with a nice little hold over here. We are going to push in with the pawns, try and shut down that laser tower. We do get the laser tower. A couple of pawns had to die for it, but I think that's probably a trade that Hell's Hound is more than happy to make over here. A couple of aggravators now coming out for Amir, though, and those are going to start blasting away at the LLTs. Quite annoying for Hell's Hound to deal with. Basically means you can't build those LLTs anymore. Those won't stop the encroaching aggressors here. Asking for a radar tower. Or maybe an LLT. Not sure exactly which. Either way, those forces will be dissuaded by the commander moving into position there. So all is well right now for the red team, who has a stranglehold on this entire area. Are we going to switch into... Yeah, Rocketeers. Okay, that's what I was expecting. Rocketeers in order to blast back away against the aggravators here, but also to shut down any LLTs that they might engage. Those LLTs are only as helpful as they are engaging the T1 units, right? So once you get into those proper late game, early game units, the Rocketeers, the Maces, the Resbots, all that sort of stuff, the more expensive T1 compositions, yeah, those, suddenly, those LLTs don't really serve all too much of a purpose. Couple of grunts, as well as a thug, singular, pumped out here. Would love to see maybe a dip back into the ocean here and have Vitek Kvitek. I think I got that right. Sort of our soft blue player, kind of another navy blue almost, a little bit lighter of a navy blue. Maybe we'll call that like a sea blue or something like that, an ocean blue. Going to be aggressing, but with very low eco right now. I'd definitely love to see maybe a couple of ship constructors, a couple of T1 ship constructors purchased by some of these land commanders and used to build title. Although that being said, title speed is actually quite low right now, so maybe not the best idea. Looking a little bit better here. We do have the static defense set up. We have a heavy laser tower, floating heavy laser tower, as well as a harpoon, the offshore torpedo launcher. Quite good. Going to be able to dissuade any ships from hanging out in the pass here at the very least. Should be more than enough to dissuade those ships. A couple of, oh, what are these called? Gatlings. Armored assault tank. They have basically a cacophony strapped to their head, and they fire away with a hellish fury. Capable of blasting apart almost anything. They're very similar to a beamer in the sense that it's a constant string of damage being pumped out. However, they're not quite as damaging as a beamer, so you have to be, you know, it's a little bit of a trade-off there. Rocketeers being blasted apart right there. Oh, that's expensive. Yeah, we lost all the Rocketeers right there. That's a bit of a problem. So going in for the D-gun with the commander. Okay, well, yeah, the units are grouped up. Ooh, nice D-gun right there. Cuts through a majority of that. And actually manages to shut down the units right here for Cascade. That's quite nice. Cascade has a vehicle lab out now, but no vehicles. Must have transitioned from a bot lab into a vehicle lab because we do have the bots, but we don't have the vehicles. Curious. LLT, now a Silver Star LLT, blasting away with hellish fury. There we go. We do have some riot tanks coming out at this point. Going to be contesting that. So we have a destroyer trying to fire away at this torpedo launcher. We do have some construction towers over here, though, to patch things up. Try and keep everything well repaired. Yeah, I think missile boats make a whole lot of sense here. The Cortex missile boat, the Herring, can fire away a long-range missile, and it can damage a lot of these static defense. It's a very early way to take down these static defense. And I wouldn't mind seeing just a whole lot of them, 50 or so of them, built in order to actually do some serious damage across the map. There's also a submarine over here being a pest. Well, that's annoying. Yeah, submarine firing away at whatever it can. Also granting vision, of course. Very useful. Just a regular T1 submarine, but doing a tremendous amount of work. Yeah, these construction turrets keeping this alive. Against all odds. Oh, down it goes. Finally falling here. Yeah, the purple player wondering what on earth is going on over here. Just building the static defense and hoping that it'll hold. It is only a matter of time. We definitely need some units out on the field here. Destroyers, submarines, anything in order to help. We do have a submarine out now. Fire away. I like to see it. Yep, bring it back and get it repaired up. It's a good idea. Heavy laser tower firing away where it thinks that boat is, but that is not the case. Read sweet. Oh, getting in the enemy water right now. Hot pink commander making a hot pink play. Going to be trying to step out into the water. Looks like, for the most part, yeah, Hellsound has been pushed all the way back here. These aggravators way too overwhelming. And at this point, a couple of them fall. But it's going to be... Oh, well, now they're walking into the lightning turret. Lightning turret swings the odds right here. Completely turns this battle around. Suddenly, all the Rocketeer, or all the aggravators, rather, for the red player have gone down. Wolverines are now in the production for Amir, who's getting ready to full-on siege the blue player's base over here. Little does he know, Hellsound does not intend to stay on land. Definitely planning to get out into the water here at some point. Construction turret is busy repairing the commander. Probably not what Hellsound is intending for that. A little bit unfortunate. Happens to the best of them, though. Wouldn't mind seeing full-blown submarine production here just to lay down a stupid amount of torpedo fire. Destroyer's obviously quite good against those, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. We have a sumo that has been dropped over here. I'm guessing that was transported. Yeah, it must have been transported from all the way over here. That's quite funny. It's also quite powerful. It is a very good unit to have on the front, especially if you manage to sneak any kind of res bots behind it or anything to keep it repaired up. Tremendous amount of health on that bad boy, the little tin can bot. Very capable. Looks like it's just going to be sacrificed here on the front line, though. Yeah, not much could be done for the sumo. This construction turret tried its very best, but those rocketeers did blast it apart. Left-hand side looking a whole lot better for the blue team than the right-hand side, which has now almost completely been eradicated by the forces here of Reed-Sweet, Humblegar, Nizah, and Emir. One final holdout over here as we do see the blue players' little lightning turret trying to hold the line. It's quite nice. Already some destroyers out in the water, though. Yeah, Reed-Sweet just going into full-blown destroyer production on the enemy side of the map here. I quite like it. We ate up the T1 lab right here. We do have some constructors. We'd love to see these getting into position here and maybe building a little bit more eco, but I think every single scrap of metal and energy is just going into producing destroyers over here, which is going to be useful at the very least. A couple of these Garpikes popped out of the water right now and blasted apart a ton of those activators, so that's quite nice. Relieves a lot of the pressure from the blue player. And those tanks are going to be more than enough to blast that away. There's also some Wolverines over here. Oh, the destroyers are firing away, though. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Commander goes down right in front of Amir's face. He just watched a commander explosion 10 feet in front of him. But that's going to be a juicy, juicy lump of metal now delivered to his stocking here. Delicious for the red player to go into. Would love to see some metal. Yeah, there we go. Looks like everybody's sharing metal to Reed-Sweet, who's now pumping out these destroyers en masse. Hellhound retreating from the front line, gonna just retreat back and start building up an economy in the back line. We've got a whole bunch of energy converters. Yeah, basically forfeiting that line and hoping that teammates can cover right here. Hopefully. You never quite know. Looks like we do have some of those barrages out now. The napalm launcher for the Legion faction. Very effective siege unit. They're tremendously devastating. They can do a ridiculous amount of damage in one big burst if you let them. Yeah, you can see these units melting away quite quickly here. I never got official confirmation, but I'm 90% sure that they stack as well. So if those shots, basically each napalm is like a different layer that stacks. Oh, you can see the candy canes firing away. Somebody's got a missile launcher. There it is. Little candy canes being fired away from the missile launching hovercraft over here. What are these called? The Mongonal? That can't be how that's pronounced. Mongonal? I have no idea. That's a word that I don't think I've ever seen before. Learn something new every day. Area is coming under siege, but again, these construction turrets are doing a great job of keeping everything repaired back up, making it impossible for these units to push on through. We are building the right units for besieging all this. The destroyer, definitely the correct move right here. Commander, oh no, sorry, a whole bunch of energy converters go up in smoke over here. Boat gets blasted apart by the heavy laser towers over here. There's enough construction turrets to keep everything repaired up, but it is a losing game on that side. I would love to see Humblegar eat up all these lane units that are essentially useless at this point, make 2 or 3 res bots and just eat all of them up. We do have a T2 lab coming up. Some people are thinking about getting into duck production. It's not queued up yet. Maybe after a T2 constructor comes up. 1 or 2 of those bad boys. Destroyers eventually shut down right here as well. That's quite nice. Looks like they killed quite a few of these metal extractors all around the place, but didn't manage to destroy all too much of the fortifications here for the blue team. I don't see a blue commander, though. Anywhere. Must have gone down. In a valiant sacrifice, I'm sure. Banshee's here to deal with some of the Wolverine. Not a, not the most ridiculous idea. It's just going to take a while. Wolverine, definitely prone to harassment there. Commander explosion over here takes out a tremendous amount of the base for autopilot. He pushes back this commander, but they do manage to embrace each other in death. That's a lot of juicy metal right now, but there's no build power remaining on this laboratory that is smoking and crying out for help. 7% HP remaining on that bad boy. Going to take a while before that becomes a full-fledged productive center once more. We do have a constructor over here, so maybe we could see some construction turrets coming up. Oh, another cheeky destroyer has snuck on through and is still harassing the backline over here. Oh, didn't manage to get the energy converters over here. Was too busy focusing on the units, but I think still carving a path through over here. Reed Sweet now pushing forward with the commander. Uh-oh. Destroyers launching their torpedoes. Oh, the commander goes down just barely out of range to destroy the lab over here. I think that's what he was aiming for. Destroyers managed to save the day right now, and that's going to be Solos now reclaiming naval supremacy. There's also some torpedo bombers in the sky, which are going to be quite nice here. We do have a whole bunch of fighters clashing as well. Doesn't look like we have the air rework enabled. I'm going to guess. Yeah, don't think so. Guess I could check. Oh no, we do have the... Do we have the air rework enabled? Ooh, I'm not exactly sure. Let's check this one. No, we do not have the air rework enabled. Okay. Can confirm. No air has been reworked as far as this match is concerned. Good to know, because oftentimes that has been a determining factor for these games, is who manages to win air superiority. T2 units now out on the field. I'd love to see a destroyer rather than a paladin or a cruiser, but still going to be useful nonetheless. Cruisers are quite fragile. They're vulnerable to enough T1 firepower, whereas the destroyers, the dreadnoughts rather, they're quite a bit better at dealing with basically any T1. They can shut down almost instantly. Aussie Gandhi blasting apart some of these goons that ran by using that underwater laser beam. Not sure why exactly the laser beam is more powerful underwater. Feel like it should be, feel like if it's, you know, if you have the more powerful laser beam, you should just use that one. Maybe it's, let's come up with some cannon right now. Maybe it's too hot to use above ground, but underwater there's enough cooling that they can afford to use it without overheating. There we go. We figured it out. Logic and facts. Figuring it out. Wow, that's a tremendous army of Buccaneers over here. We also have some anti-air, so that's quite nice. Gonna shoot down any of those torpedo bombers that are coming across. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Buccaneers, very powerful. Those cruisers can fire away from long range, and there's more than enough of them to deal with any of these dreadnoughts over here. Paladin's now gonna get stuck in a fight. Oh, can we kill one of them? Oh, that Buccaneer rather, just barely escapes with its life. So we did have the blue player topping out of the game here. A little bit of a shuffling of forces. different players taking over for different people. Whoa, nuclear explosion takes out a tremendous portion of the backline economy right here for the blue team. Wipes out an entire base over here. A little bit of coordination. Very nice. Excellent nukes sent across the map right here by the red team. Specifically the orange player Shoddy, who was more than happy to wipe out a massive chunk of the blue team using that nuclear firepower. I'm surprised anti-nuke ships haven't come up and been prevalent. Oh, we don't have the expanded T2 Navy. That's a bit of a bummer. I feel like if you're going to play this map, you got to play with the expanded T2 Navy. That just feels like a given. These mantas have just been standing their ground firmly against the odds. This is impressive, to say the very least. What a sturdy defense. Oh, looks like we're handing over a whole bunch of stuff here as well. More and more players clocking out for the blue team. Red team trying to pump out some more units over here. It looks like we do finally have one of those battleships, the Despot, and it's a powerful one. It's got basically a Cerberus strapped to its head, but it's also got a heavy laser on it as well. Essentially, the weapon that it uses as sort of just a offhand ship's deck weapon is the main weapon of the Buccaneer. So this is a high energy laser versus a high energy laser for the ship weapon over there. This is really the benefit, though, is it can fire away from such long range. You can start to shell away a lot of these units without actually having to put yourself in harm's way. Makes for a very, very efficient method of engagement here. Oh. Nuclear bomber blows all those to smithereens. Cerberus also putting in significant work, as well as the beamer turret and the lightning turret. And all that hovercraft aggression will be cleaned up nice and neatly over there. Whole bunch of tanks pushing forward over here. I think the nuclear bomber would be wise to move in that direction as well. Oh, it's actually going to go after the T2 lab over here. That's quite interesting. Are we going to get it? We are going to get it. T2 lab gets popped by the nuclear bomber. It'll cost the nuclear bomber its life in order to do it, but I think that's probably well worth it. It's going to shut down any more production over here, so this need only be held on in order to deal with all this. Do we have another nuclear bomber? We have another nuke. How about that? Gonna be sent across the map right here. Oh, anti-nuke just a second too late in order to intercept that. Goes crashing into the water somewhere out north of the position there, and the nuke wipes out the entire dark blue base. That was a tremendous hit right there. Both of the backline players didn't have anti-nuke up in time. That is so unfortunate. You know, I can sympathize. I'm definitely one to forget my anti-nuke quite often here. There we go. We have another nuclear bomber, and that's going to be great for cleaning up a whole lot of this. Also, as soon as that Cerberus could get involved, a lot of these units just melted away. There we go. All the aggression done and dealt with, done and dusted, as they say, for Victor X11. So would that be 12? Victor 12. And I think right now that's going to be a significant advantage for the red team, who now has basically complete control over the western island and the eastern island, both of which are now pumping out units to try and do some serious damage across the map with. We have a whole bunch of paladins over here, but again, I'd love to see a battleship. Dreadnought, I believe, is the Armada T2 battleship. Torpedo gunships, Monsoons, I believe they're called. Strangely enough, Monsoon's way worse than the Armada. I believe it's called the Puffin. Yeah, Monsoon and the Puffin. A little bit of a change of names between those two. Usually the names are sort of semi-related, but in this case, not so. Oh, and a little bit of chuggies right here, as it looks like the blue team has been broken through. Yeah, units now streaming through the lines over here. With that western advantage gone, done, and dusted, I think it was probably just about the right time for the blue team to tap. Red team going to claim victory over today's naval map. And boy, what an interesting match. If you enjoy these matches with a whole bunch of players in them, feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. I do have a couple more replays of these that were played on Christmas, so we're, you know, always happy to oblige here at the Brightworks. Cover whatever the people are most interested in. But other than that, I just hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the very next Beyond All Reason video. Peace out, folks.